Welcome to the online tutorial sessions for Statistics for Economics. I am Avnash Lambert, your teacher. Today we are going to start the first chapter, which is an introduction. And it's a very easy chapter. You have already considered, you have already learned some few things in the microeconomics. So it will be a bit easier chapter. So let's start our chapter 1. Economics is not very old. It's not very old. Adam Smith's book, An Inquiry into the Nature and the Cause of Wealth of Nation. Remember this book's name. Adam Smith's book, An Inquiry into the Nature and the Cause of Wealth of Nation. It was published in 1776. So, economics can be traced from this book. The very beginning, the very starting of economics started from the year 1776 from the book An Inquiry into the Nature and the Cause of Wealth of Nations. So, let's start. Adam Smith is also known as the father of economics. Obviously, he wrote the first book in which economics can be traced. So, he is considered to be the father of economics. Now, economics, the word economics has been derived from the Greek word oikos and nemen. Oikos means a house, and nemen means to manage. So, economics is known as the household management. How a house is being managed, how the goods, how the services, how the productivity of that house occurs, happens, that comes under the household management. So, the word economics has been taken from the Greek words oikos and nemen. Oikos means house and nemen means to manage. So, it is economics known as the household management. But earlier it was used to be called as political economy. Is that clear? So, there are so many facts which we learned. Adam Smith book, An Inquiry into the Nature and the Cause of Wealth of Nation, which was published in 1776. And Adam Smith is known as the father of economics, derived from the word oikos and nemen, which means household and to manage respectively, and thus it is known as household management, and earlier it was used to be called as political economy. Understood? So let's come to the next topic. Let's come to the meaning of economics. Now, during the course of history, if we talk about history have been broadly divided into 4 parts. History has divided the economics broadly into 4 parts. So, we are going to study about the 4 different definitions or meanings of economics. The first one is wealth definition. The first definition, which was given by Mr. Adam Smith. The same Adam Smith who is known as the father of economics. His definition was totally based on the wealth. So he defined the economics as economics is the science of wealth. In our ordinary language, we consider wealth is money. In our local language, in our daily languages, we consider wealth as money. But in economics, wealth refers to those goods which satisfy human wants. All those things, all those goods which satisfy our wants, our human wants, are considered to be the wealth. That is the wealth for us. So, basically, Adam Smith concerned with the problem arising from wealth getting and wealth using activities of people. What is wealth getting activity? Wealth getting activity means whatever I am doing to earn money, and with that money I am going to buy those things, those stuff which are satisfying human wants, which are satisfying my wants. So wealth getting and wealth using activities, all those things which provide us satisfaction, if we use those things, and by using those things we can earn more money or we can have the satisfaction. So basically Adam Smith considered wealth as the economics. In economics, we refer wealth to those goods which satisfy human wants, and Adam Smith concerned it with the problem arising from wealth getting and wealth using activities of people. All those problems which arises by the wealth getting and wealth using activity. There are so many activities. The prices goes high and the production becomes lesser and lesser. The demand, the supply, all those fluctuations there are those problems. So he considered wealth as the economics. Is that clear? So this was the first definition, which was wealth definition by Adam Smith. Let's move to the second one. The second definition was given by Mr. Alfred Marshall. His definition was based on welfare. Adam Smith's definition was based on wealth, but Alfred Marshall's definition was based on welfare. He defined economics is the study of man in the ordinary business of life. Basically, study of man in the ordinary business of life. He pursued the ideology that human beings need welfare in a business of life. He converted the life into the business. He depicted the life as business. So in that life, in that business, how the human is growing, how the human is having the welfare. So that study, how the man, how the human is growing, that study he considered it to be the economics. The primary objective and end of economics. The primary objective, the main objective, and at a point where the economics ends is the promotion of material welfare. Basically, he said, if we are growing, then our materialistic things will also grow. Promotion of material welfare, which actually shows the human welfare. Suppose I am riding a bicycle and after a few months I am riding a bullet bike, then that will be known as the human welfare, my human welfare. But as well as it will be also considered as the materialistic welfare. So he considered, Alfred Marshall considered it to be the study of man in the ordinary business of life. This word is a business, then how human being is growing. So that is the second definition which was given by the Mr. Alfred Marshall on welfare. Let's come to the third one. The next one is third definition which was given by Lionel Robbins. And this definition was based on the scarcity. We have already learned about scarcity. So Lionel Robbins defined it as economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between end and scarce resources, of those ending and limited resources which have alternative uses. Those resources which can be utilized in many other ways. So he told that economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between two things. First is end and scarce resources, and the second one, those alternative uses. So we already studied in the microeconomics that this world has the problem of scarcity and we have unlimited human wants, but the resources are very limited for us, so that all of our wants cannot be satisfied, but we have alternative uses of that resources. So due to our, according to our priorities and importances, we just select our important uses, and those uses, those necessities are satisfied by those scarce resources. So the whole study of this economic problem which arises due to scarcity was given by Lionel Robbins. He said scarcity is the root of all the economic problems, which you already know. Scarcity is universal, and scarcity is the main reason, is the root cause of all the economic problems, and scarcity affects our daily life. It's the scarcity that affects our daily life. I am giving you an example. Suppose there are two brothers and one has gone to market for bringing some of the stuff which is told by his mom, and when he comes back there is only one glass of Nibu Pani. Only one glass of Nibu Pani, and both of the sons are fighting over that. So just tell me, to whom will that Nibu Pani will be given by the mom? To whom? Of course, to the person who just went to the market and is coming back to the home. So scarcity affects our daily life. In that case, that Nibu Pani belonged to the person, to the boy who went to the market in the terrible sunlight. So scarcity, if there were two glasses of Nibu Pani, then there would have been no problem at all. But due to scarcity, it affects our daily life. Now treat that Nibu Pani with the business, with the production, to whom we are going to give that products, that affects our daily life. Now the fourth one, the next one, which is growth oriented definition, which was given by Professor Anthony Samuelson. Fourth one is growth oriented. So basically there are four definitions. First was wealth oriented, welfare oriented, scarcity oriented, and now the growth oriented definition, which was given by Professor Anthony Samuelson. Let's check. It is the study of how man and society choose, with or without. This is study of how man and society, how man and the whole society chooses, with or without the use of money. With the money, you can select by giving money, or you can select without giving money, to employ, to use scarce productive resources, all those resources which are helpful for us, which can be converted into something which could have alternative uses. Those resources have different uses, have alternative uses, to produce various commodities over time. Within a time, you can produce different sort of commodities and distribute them. And when you produce those goods, you have to distribute them among people for consumption. For consumption. Obviously, if you have produced something, that will be consumed too. You cannot take it for granted. You cannot use it for your own use. You have to give them to the people for consumption. And now and in the future, that distribution for consumption will be for now, for the present, and for the future among various people and groups of society. So basically, Professor Anthony Samuelson depicted the whole economy in one definition. Let's read it again. It is a study of how man and society chooses, with or without the use of money, to employ scarce productive resources which could have alternative uses, to produce various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in the future among various people and group of society. He basically told each and everything that how a man in society chooses the goods with or without money, those resources to employ, those to use those resources which have alternative uses and which are very limited in amount. So we can have different products and we have to distribute, we have to give away to the people, we have to distribute for consumption, for present and future among the people and various groups of people. So this is the whole economics. You have already understood this thing. So the whole Professor Anthony Samuelson definition is being told. This definition is considered to be the most appropriate and satisfactory. You know the reason why? Because Adam Smith just told about the wealth, Mr. Alfred Marshall just told about the welfare, and Leonard Robin was almost correct. He came up with the scarcity, but Anthony Samuelson depicted the whole story in one definition. So that's all for today's video. I hope each and everything is very clear to you, and we'll meet in the next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe.